Good morning, class 12. We have already started with the theory of income and employment, and after going through different aspects of income, consumption, saving, that is, what is income, what are the different components of income, how the income is made up of, all these things are income function, consumption function, saving function. After going through all these aspects, now we have come to a point where we are going to study the equilibrium level of income and output. As you can see on the blackboard, the caption is written for you: determination of equilibrium income and output. Definitely we are studying the macro concept. The first approach to study equilibrium income and output is aggregate demand and aggregate supply approach. Now here we have already taken up some assumptions that we will be studying a simple two-sector economy. Now the two sector are having a private sector, that is the household, that is having consumption expenditure, and the other sector is the investment, that is the firm's investment, and that is done by the firms, and they take decisions regarding investment expenditure. So we have two sector economy, two sector model, where household and firms are only contributing or spending. Households has private final consumption expenditure and firm has investment expenditure. Even though we have two approaches, today we will be taking up the first approach, and that is aggregate demand and aggregate supply approach. Now when we start this approach, we have certain concepts that you have already studied. The first and foremost thing is that equilibrium level of income and output in the economy is the one where the desired aggregate demand for goods and services is equal to the aggregate supply. Again, it's a concluding statement, right? We are going to find out what is the equilibrium level of income and output, and the first and foremost line that I am telling you is a concluding line, is a decisive statement. It says that the equilibrium level of income and output in the economy is the level where aggregate demand, desired aggregate demand, is equal to desired aggregate supply in the economy. Now if we talk about aggregate demand, the meaning of aggregate demand will be is the total desired expenditure, that is the spending of the community, total, that is comprising of consumption also and investment also. Now the components, we come to the components of aggregate demand. The first is total desired expenditure, that is comprising planned expenditure of the consumers, right, on the consumable goods by the household, and the second component is planned investment expenditure on capital goods by the business firm. So what we are saying, aggregate demand is having two components. Aggregate demand is the aggregate desired spending of the economy. We have two sectors which are spending in the economy. One is household, which is spending on consumer goods, and the other is firm, which is spending on investment goods. So these are the two components of aggregate demand. Now planned consumption expenditure, we will be taking it up now in the form of diagram, and I'll be explaining you also. We have already been through this diagram. A part of the diagram we have already seen. This is your this is the OX axis of the diagram, as you have already known. This is OY axis. On OX axis we will be taking up income or output. Now you might say that we cannot take two variables on the same axis. They are the same. We will be talking them one by one. And on this we are taking aggregate expenditure. Now again, aggregate expenditure also having again two components. You already know, that is consumption expenditure of the household and the investment expenditure of the firm. Now you have already drawn one by one. So what you see over here, that land consumption expenditure as per your book is shown by C line. This line you have already drawn. I hope you remember the autonomous part. You remember. This is your C line. This shows a upward sloping consumption line. Now this upward sloping curve in this figure shows the positive and linear relation between consumption and income. This is what we have already studied, as it is explained by the Keynesian consumption function that we studied in the last session. Then second is the aggregate expenditure are having two components. This is the first one, that is the consumption expenditure, and then second is investment expenditure. Right? This is investment expenditure. Now investment, as you have said, autonomous investment you are taking, because you said that this is the investment which was on zero level of income. That is, this is the investment when the consumer was not earning anything in the last regime. So this is autonomous investment, and this investment is not, even though this investment was on the zero level of income, but this investment, the type of the investment is the same. This is also autonomous investment only, but this is not influenced by the level of income, because income is shown over here. So it is moving along with the income, but it is not a function of income. So it's a constant line parallel to x-axis. This is your investment line. So we have drawn both the components curve over here. Consumption curve, a positively a pricing curve, and that shows as income increases, the consumption of the consumer also increases. And then the second component, investment expenditure, a parallel line, constant line parallel to x-axis, showing the autonomous investment expenditure of the firm. Alright. Now what we say, the desired aggregate demand curve is, therefore, this is your desired aggregate demand curve. Now we will make up. So we have, when we are making aggregate demand curve, it must have both the components. So here is your aggregate demand curve. This is your aggregate demand curve. Alright. This is your aggregate demand curve. Now this aggregate demand curve is made up of this and this. Right? What you see, the slope of consumption curve and the slope of aggregate demand curve is the same. So the slope of consumption curve and aggregate demand curve is the same. That means that aggregate demand curve is also a positively sloping curve. Now this curve is derived by, so this has what? C. This has C plus I. The components of aggregate demand is C and I. So this curve is made up of C and I. How this is made up of? It is made up of by taking the vertical summation of the C line, right? Vertical summation of C line and the I line. Summing up this distance, we have drawn this curve. I hope you are getting it, because it is the aggregate demand curve. So we are summing up this distance, that is the I distance, and DC distance, and drawing this line. So aggregate demand curve is derived by taking the vertical distance of C and I curve, right? And this means that C plus I curve is parallel. This curve is parallel to C, that is the consumption curve, and the vertical distance is equal to I, right? The slope of this curve is equal to C and the vertical distance is equal to I. This is how you are drawing the aggregate demand curve.